Hello and welcome to the Cultural Diversity and Occupational Therapy online course. My name is Melisa Kaye and I'll be your instructor for this semester. This short video acts as a companion piece for your written handout entitled Introduction and General Instructions. This video won't cover all the information included in your handout, but will highlight and expand upon some of the points that I think are particularly relevant to you as you make your way through the class. First of all, we have to look at what the study of culture entails. And for many of us, that either gets reduced down to ethnic dishes and dress and traditions, or it gets expanded so big that it's really very unwieldy and hard to deal with. For the purposes of this course, we're going to try to keep our discussion somewhere in between those two areas by focusing on values and beliefs. Now, I find that one of the best ways for me to start thinking in terms of values and beliefs is to think about my own values and beliefs. And then after I reflect and examine them, I can then look at other cultural groups and start looking at their values and beliefs and comparing and contrasting. Of course, during this entire process, it is very important to stay away from making value judgments and to bracket my own values and beliefs so that I'm approaching people from other cultures and also their values and beliefs with some objectivity. It's going to be impossible for you to be totally objective, but you want to keep in mind that perspective. In terms of this class, I have a unique perspective because I've both been a student in it and instructed it. And from that perspective, I bring to you the following. One of the things that initially is going to be really challenging for you, whether you have a lot of experience with online courses and the internet and computers, or whether you have a very small amount and you've been away from school for many, many years, is that there is going to be a learning curve as you learn the technology, the online platform, figure out all the ins and outs of posting and formatting for posting and so on. Now, I want to lay your mind to rest a little bit in that. To start with, we're going to be focusing just as much on getting you used to the platform and to being comfortable with the online course format as the content. So please don't worry about it if everything doesn't go super smoothly right at the start. There's going to be plenty of time for you to get used to what's happening in the course and get your skills ramped up, and then we'll move more into the content. If you have questions, you can post them online, or you can contact me via voice, email, text, however you need to contact me, and I'll do my best to help you out. You can also use your advisor as an additional resource. Now, along the lines of an online course, there's certain things that are quite different than meeting in person. One of the things is that when we communicate with someone else in person, we have a number of nonverbal cues that we can use to help us figure out what the intent is and what the real meat of what the other person is saying. Some of these are visual, how close or far away we stand from someone else, their facial expression, their nonverbal body language, and some of them are auditory. So my tone of voice tells you a lot about what I'm talking about and how I feel about it, my timbre, the rate of how I'm speaking. And when you're online, you miss all of that. So it's quite fascinating to learn to communicate without those cues, but it can also be challenging and sometimes frustrating. My advice to you is to be super polite and respectful, especially at the start, so that you get used to not communicating with those additional cues. But you want to be careful that you don't get so polite and respectful that you stop talking about anything that has any meaning at all. So somewhere in between, it's going to be a balance point. It's going to take you a little time to find that point, but I have full confidence that all of you will get there. The other thing that I want to talk to you about is your assignments. And each assignment has its own video and has its own set of instructions. Please don't rely on the video solely to provide the instructions. You are going to need to read and download the instructions. I actually printed everything out when I took the course, and now I print it out every time I teach the course. So have all your written resources, but use the videos as companion pieces. The most important thing about the assignments is that you plan well ahead. I suggest that you write everything out to start with. Give yourself kind of a date book of some form, whatever works for you. Because while the assignments are not particularly difficult in many cases, they do take some thought, some planning. They may take a number of different steps until you're ready to write them up. And again, there's the learning curve that you're going to be going through starting a new program at a new university that is online. So please, please don't procrastinate. Give yourself plenty of time to work out the kinks, and you should be just fine. We are going to be posting each of the assignments online. So what that means is that you're not going to turn into a paper to me. You're not going to be emailing me a paper. What you're going to be doing is posting directly online your assignment, and then part of the class participation is going to be that you're getting comments and feedback from your peers, and you're providing comments and feedback to others about their assignments. So to some extent, you are going to be your own best teacher and learner in conjunction with your fellow students and classmates. Now, this brings up my last point, or possibly one of my last points, which is that this course relies heavily on adult learning. And adult learning means that to a great extent, you take responsibility for doing the readings, for following up on the assignments, for finding resources for what you don't know. It's not going to be fed to you quite as much as you may be used to in other courses or in other learning environments. For some of you, this is going to be a great relief. You're going to say, whew, I can do what I want. For others of you, that lack of structure and direction may be a bit off-putting. It may be a bit intimidating. It may be a little bit confusing at first. Again, we're going to give you plenty of time to ramp up. We're going to give you plenty of support, or I am, and your advisor will, so that you can get on board and keep everything or achieve a state where you feel comfortable. I'm happy to provide you with any help that you might need. Please do be proactive and reach out, and that will help you very much in the course. I think that is what I have to say in this video. You will be receiving other videos, other resources, other readings. You can take a look at all of that online, and as I said, download and print it out if you're so inclined. To a great extent, you're going to be directing your own learning, so there is a lot of reading and a lot of resources. If you're not so interested in some of it, skim it. If you're super interested in other pieces of literature, then read them very carefully and even go beyond that. That is what I'd like to say to you today. I'm sure I'll have more to say to you, but I will see you and do that when we're online. Take care, and I'll see you online.